What if humanity never stepped onto land? What if the cradle of civilization wasn't a river valley, but a coral reef? Today, we're diving headfirst, pun intended, into an alternative timeline where humans evolved not as land-walking apes, but as sea-dwelling societies. Think Poseidon, but with paperwork and taxes. Okay, for this hypothetical to make any sense, we gotta rewind the evolutionary tape. In our timeline, life did start in the ocean. Fish, then amphibians, then reptiles, then mammals. Pretty basic, but now hit pause before the amphibians crawl out. In this alternate reality, our aquatic ancestors say, nah, land looks dry and full of responsibilities. Instead, evolution favors brains over legs. Literally. So picture this. A branch of marine mammals develops opposable fins, echolocation becomes the underwater version of Twitter, and coral cities start popping up in the shallows. They're sleek, dome-shaped, and honestly probably better designed than half the stuff we have on land. Now fast forward a few 100,000 years. Civilization, as we know it, writing, laws, farming, all happens underwater. But agriculture's a problem when dirt isn't really a thing. So instead, these sea humans cultivate kelp, harvest mollusks, and herd schools of fish like underwater cowboys. You want steak? Too bad, you're having jellyfish stew again. Money? Maybe it's based on pearls, or giant clams, or heck, maybe oxygen bubbles are the new Bitcoin. And speaking of tech, electricity works differently underwater, so forget fire. These guys mastered bioluminescence. You don't have a campfire, you have glowworm karaoke. Communication? Forget shouting. Everything's echolocation, gesture-based signs, or, if we're being honest, probably a lot of passive-aggressive bubble patterns. Let's talk politics. Empires still exist, they're just wetter. Think kingdoms built around deep-sea vents, city-states fighting over thermal hotspots, and ocean currents that determine trade routes instead of roads. War still exists too. Turns out even sea people argue over borders. Except now it's torpedo squid versus crab-armored warriors. Naval warfare? Nah, bro. Everything's naval. But you know what still ruins everything? Natural disasters. Underwater earthquakes and volcanic eruptions trigger tsunamis and pressure shock waves. Entire coral civilizations could collapse overnight. So yes, even in this timeline, Mother Nature still hates you. Religion? Imagine gods of the trench and the tide. Priests don jellyfish robes and bless you with sacred plankton. And yes, there are cults that think the sun is a lie and that glowing sea cucumbers are divine messengers. Culturally, it's rich. Music is made through harmonic currents, and architecture is less about bricks, more about engineering coral growth. Their version of Shakespeare, a whale-bard who composes 6-hour operas about doomed octopus love. And yes, there's probably an annoying sea pop star everyone hates but can't stop listening to. You're not safe from that, even in the ocean. Here's where it gets juicy. What happens when sea civilization finally discovers land? A few explorers, or rebels, crawl up onto a beach like reverse fish. They find dry land, breathable air, and weird hairless monkeys throwing rocks. And now it's colonialism, but flipped. The sea folks show up in slick watercraft, demand tribute, and teach us the sacred art of squid sushi. Land humans eventually integrate, or rebel. Maybe we invent scuba gear not to visit the ocean, but to invade. Cue 600 years of war between the Aqua Federation and the Surface Alliance. It's dune, but damp. So what if human civilization started in the ocean? We'd still have drama, wars, celebrities and taxes, just wetter. The future wouldn't be flying cars and skyscrapers. It'd be dolphin chauffeurs and algae-powered domes. And hey, maybe Atlantis wasn't a myth. Maybe it was the first empire. And in this timeline, it never sank. We just never looked deep enough. But now I want to hear from you. Would you prefer living underwater or on land? And hey, while we're at it, what if dinosaurs never went extinct? What if the Roman Empire reached the moon? What if vampires were real and ran Wall Street? Let me know which one you want to see next, or suggest your own weird what-if scenario. The wilder, the better. Hit like if your brain feels slightly more soaked than usual. Subscribe for more. Stay curious, stay weird, and don't trust the crab people.